What is up, people? Welcome back to the Avarice Podcast. Continuing our commentaries on the Wire TV series today. I gotta be honest, I debated if I was gonna do this or not. At least today, of course, I was gonna do it, but not today. Feeling a bit tuckered out. I just did a commentary for a movie right before this, but I decided to quit being a little bitch, man up, and get this shit done. I'm not going to regret doing it, but I might regret not doing it. So, for the uninitiated, I'm going to make myself a cup of coffee. I'm going to sit down, smoke a little weed. I'll cue you up when I'm going to start the show. I'm streaming it on Amazon Prime. And then I will do a podcast while I'm watching the episode. I'll I'll post some questions that I wonder, some speculation, insight, my thought process while I'm watching it, have a laugh. You know, The Wire is my favorite all-time TV series, so I really just enjoy watching it. It's part of why I decided to do these commentaries on it. It's like, well, even if they're not the best podcasts in the world, I get to watch The Wire, and I am accomplishing the task of recording the podcast. I'm showing up and doing it, and who knows when that gem may finally get uncovered. May I finally move that one grain of sand and come up with something that resonates. But in the meantime, we'll just keep on trucking. Keep on rocking in the free world. Keep on rocking in the free world. I think I'm gonna eat a couple pieces of ham while I'm waiting for my coffee to cook. I'm hungry. I made a ham today and there's leftovers in the fridge. So, if you don't mind too much, I'm gonna be eating ham for a couple minutes here. If it bothers you, fast forward to like 5, 6, 7 minutes into the podcast and I'll probably have started the show. So when it comes to the series, we keep getting our character development. We're really starting to hit our stride as far as the writing goes and the interest. I don't think I've actually come out and said it. We're going to be doing episode 5 today. And it is titled The Pager. So, I was reading the Amazon descriptions, and they're kind of hilarious. One of them referred to Omar as the leader of a rival gang opposing Avon. He opposes Avon, but he's not the leader of a gang. Omar walks alone, at least for the most part. Shit. Sorry about that. God damn. I'm even more sorry about that. I'm a sorry ass motherfucker. That probably sounded so horrible. I just straight up dropped this shit on the floor. Smack, dab, pancake time. Oh man. I'm sorry if I just blew out your eardrums. I would never do that intentionally. Just clumsy, I guess. At least in this moment. Too many things going on at once. It was a bad idea to try to eat that ham while still recording a podcast. I was trying to grab for my coffee, set the mic down. There's some fuckery afoot. And that's the way it goes. All right. It's cannabis time. just before wire time. If you want to walk the wire with me, feel free. Come on, yeah! No, that's not a Jean-Claude Van Damme impression. That's Jack Black from Saving Silverman. Excuse me. So, let's see. There's probably going to be an ad here. What's the deal going to be? What are they going to do to me here? No. No, what did you just... God damn it. Ain't this about a bitch? Okay, there's a fucking Prime ad. Okay, now, ad's over to the beginning of the actual episode. Pressing play in 3, 2, 1, play. Hey, it worked like a charm that time. What do you know? This fucking guy. Got a lot of fucking balls. Yo, I'm gonna need you to rip the phone lines out the house. So this is Avon and his girlfriends. One of his girls. I don't know if he has a girlfriend. You know how that goes. He's ultra suspicious, but it serves him well. That's the way you gotta be in that life. He explains it later on in the series. Can't be 1 minute late. Can't get caught slipping one time. Because that's all it takes. Even with all this paranoia, the cops still manage to find a way in. He doesn't even want those dudes standing down on the corner when he comes outside. He's doing this shit on the sneak tip. For real. What I'm curious about is how'd they know to bounce like that? Like he just rolls up on them and they're just like, oh, we gotta get the fuck out of here. Nice shirt, Avon. Looks like shit. What are you going to bowling?
I need you to get them phone lines about the house. I'm saying, what y'all gonna say about not having a line in our own place?
I look like I give a fuck what she think.
Gotcha. What's up, man? You got a problem? Good. I'm just saying, though, man. It seems like we like we bugging out or something. You know, like we paranoid and shit.
I ain't got no motherfucking enemies. Ain't nobody trying to get me? Nah, you alright, daddy. There's a discipline to it. If you've never listened before, the theme song gets good to me every time. And you walk through the garden, you gotta watch your back. And I'm taking my coffee, and I'm walking out back. I'm gonna smoke me a cigarette while I watch the show. You can sit right there, or you can lose control. That wasn't half bad. I made that shit up on the spot. I'll have to listen back to it, but fuck, for off the top of the head in the state of mind I'm in right now, pretty fucking tired to pull that off. Helps that I know the way that this beat goes so fucking well. You gotta keep the devil. Plus, funny story, true story. I got a copyright claim on YouTube for the last commentary. And it was for the theme song. And it's me singing the fucking theme song in the commentary. But you can hear the music, and I lined up with it so well that it just thinks that it's the theme song. It doesn't realize, the bot didn't realize that it's actually me. I disputed it, but they haven't resolved the case yet. A little slow, a little late. This is the episode where he's going to explain that shit that I was talking about earlier. This is such an intelligent fucking show. So now Omar is explaining the strategy of going at a corner crew. It's well thought out. He doesn't just rush in blam blamming. He actually wants to accomplish this without a shot even being fired. He wants to checkmate their ass, basically. Puts them in a situation where they don't have any defense but to give up. It's less struggle for him, less risk, and he doesn't end up with any bodies on his name, so the cops aren't coming after him. It's not like these dealers are going to run to the cops and say, somebody stole my drugs. Either or. What? This is the judge's first glimpse at their working quarters. A troglodyte. He's calling him a fucking, like a caveman. Don't you know what a troglodyte is? Yeah, it's like a diamond. No, it's like a caveman. So if you're a caveman, then I'm a cave woman. Bet your sweet ass. Well, she's gay and I'm hopeless, so I don't think that's gonna work out.
How's this working? Same frequency as the one carried by D'Angelo Barksdale. He gets a page, we get a page.
The judge is the one who has to grant them the right to do the clone pager, but he doesn't even understand it. That seems wrong to me. Not that they're cloning the pagers unjustified. It just seems like the judge should have more of a grasp on what he's allowing them to do before he allows them to do it. Omar Coven. I think this might be the first episode that he whistles in. That kind of becomes his call sign, his trademark later on. Black trench coat, bulletproof vest, shotgun, and braids. I can't remember if he cuts his hair in any of the seasons. See? They're all afraid of Omar. He knows where they're gonna run, and his crew's already down there. Bloodless coup. It's not a coup, but you get my drift. Oh. Pardon. The bug is AIDS, if you don't know. Clowned on him there for sure. I wouldn't fuck her with D'Angelo's dick. This is a little bit harsh here, but Bodie came up hard. And Wallace doesn't really belong there. He's still a kid at heart. And D'Angelo's, who the fuck gave you the authority to do that? You think you can just run wild on everybody? I'm your boss, motherfucker. So they've gone through all this work. It's called exhaustion. They have to exhaust all other methods to prove that they need the wiretap. They've now cloned the pager. They think that they've finally broken through. And all the numbers they're getting through make no sense. So behind every door is another door. They all take different keys. It's a really long process. So again, that paranoia and discipline. Preemptively, before any investigations or everything, they're using pagers and they're using codes to disguise their numbers and their calls. It's fucking brilliant.
Every time someone uses either the payphones in the little rice card, we get the telephone number, the time, and the duration of the call. Incoming calls too. Spy shit.
And the way they break this all down, like it all seems legit, seems authentic. This movie was written by somebody, I believe, that was a former Baltimore police officer, or at least involved in the 90s in Baltimore police. And the actor that plays Ray Cole was actually a cop in Baltimore. So this is the first meeting of the detail and Omar. And the more we see of Omar, the more we get introduced to just how streetwise he is. He's a fucking genius, basically. Omar's got the most gangster lines, the behavior, the way he carries himself. He's the perfect badass. Like, you want to know all that gangster shit? Omar is a fucking gangster. Omar is hard. Not like on some rap battle shit or something, but like on some stick a shotgun in your grill with a smile on his face shit. And fucking Stringer. Elba's job playing Stringer is ridiculously good. Like, he's so good that he just blends in. Like, it's almost like he needs to mess up once in a while so you can realize how good he actually is. And his accent. And Stringer's a smart motherfucker too. And they come up with strategies for combating issues the same way that a corporation would. Like, we're experiencing loss over here. What do you think that could be? I don't know. Let's try to flush it out. Let's implement this plan, and we'll see if that brings it to light. Granted, a company that you work for can't just refuse to pay you for a week. Oh, fuck. Cy Stringer was making a hell of a lot of sense there, and it was hilarious. He's like, D'Angelo said, if we don't pay them, they aren't going to work. And Stringer goes, what do you think, they're going to quit and go get a job? You think these motherfuckers are going to be like, fuck this drug shit, let me go to college? Oh, man, but the depth of his gangster, he's saying, hold back their money and see who's still rolling, see who's still eating. So cut off the faucet from your end and see who's still getting water. That look on Poot's face, he's so disappointed in himself. Oh, god damn. I love this show. I love this fucking show. So Pooh got the cell phone slapped out of his hand because that's one of the rules. They're not allowed to have a cell phone down there. He's talking to some pussy on the phone because Pooh is pussy crazy. And now Presbalewski is actually going to start to become interested in police work, and he's not just going to be a warm body filling a slot. Valchek's daughter's slot. He's intrigued by the code that they're using, and he's making copies of the 9 key on the front of the phone so that he can try to figure out what code they're using.
You good? Saw the street light. We wish we could.
Ain't nothing like a good sea high.
Snitch, you mean? We don't snitch while you bitches just tattle. Popping off at the lip, get you tipped like cattle. That's an Everlast song, or line. Shout out to Everlast. I think this is Little Romeo right here. And he's about to tip off Omar.
I did.
Omar's got eyes and ears everywhere because he's kind to the community.
I know.
He uses them to sell the product he steals. He hooks up people in the community with free shit. He kind of watches out for them, and in turn, they put him hip to the sneak tip when the cops are on their way.
What the fuck do you care what color they are? Hello?
And McNulty's arguing with his ex-wife. It's a legit question, though. Why does she care what fucking color the sheets are?
You know something? My ex-wife, the way she acts.
He's gonna call her a cunt.
You would think a less enlightened man than myself, cruder man than myself, a man less sensitized to the qualities and charms and value of women. A man like that, not me, but a man like that, he just might call her a cunt. No, I did not call her a cunt. No, I did not.
She's giving him shit about what color bed sheets he bought. Like, who gives a fuck? Function over form here, sweetheart. They're going to have bed sheets. They're going to be asleep. Why does it matter what they fucking look like? Uh-oh. Bodie skipped out on the boys' home, and now Herc and Carver are going to break one off in his ass. See, this is their game. This is what they were taught. This is what they think police work is. You chase people down, you thrash them onto the ground, you handcuff them, you take them to the station. Get them on some petty charge. You get in trouble for brutality half the time. His grandma actually gave him the business card. See, the adults in these kids' lives don't want them doing this either. It's just what they're brought up in. It's what they see as the way out. They see all this money, it's easy, but the risk. Look at Avon. He's like at the tippity top. Couldn't be much more successful than this in the drug game. And he's paranoid as a motherfucker. Sneaking out of his girl's apartment and shit. Hiding. Yo, lock that door. There's never really a payoff unless you get super out the game. Like Stringer's goal is to get completely out. Just be money men and go legit. And then just live the life. But that's seasons from now. And of course, Avon just can't walk away from the gangster shit. That's what he likes. This is another great scene. Carver and Herc think that they're going to play Bodie with the good cop, bad cop shit. And Bodie has been getting arrested since he could walk. So he sees it coming a mile away. He lets him play out and then talks shit to him afterwards. Bodie lets Carver go through his act and then pisses him off and then goes, "You're supposed to be the good cop, motherfucker." Oh. You grew up hard? Carver's treating him like a dummy. He's not stupid. He's just in the drug game. He lives by a different set of rules than you understand.
House projects.
It's more savage. It's more animalistic.
Flags?
Money comes quick, and so do the ass whoopings.
You remind me of me.
And you're selling people death, but they want it. They have to have it. It's crazy.
Work something.
What do I keep?
Man, who's your guys' favorite character in The Wire? I think that I have to say that mine's Omar. My favorite three, I could definitely identify my favorite three. Stringer, McNulty, and Omar. And if I had to rank them, that's tough, but probably goes Omar, McNulty, Stringer, in that order. See? Oh, I told him to suck his dick. They're just beating him, like, it's totally inappropriate. This is a great scene because D'Angelo and his girl, he's got a little bit of money. They're trying to go to like an upper class establishment, but he feels the stain of the things that he's done on him. Like he thinks everybody can see, like he's wearing that scarlet letter. And also they kind of don't belong. They don't understand the culture. He doesn't get how it all works. He didn't know he had to make a reservation. He thinks they set him by the kitchen because he's black.
Can we get that one over there? No, that's Friday night. Those were for patrons who made reservations.
Like, you're out of luck, dude. You should have called. At least you would have known if they took reservations or not.
The waiter will be with you shortly.
I haven't seen any behavior from them that indicated that they're treating you unfairly or discriminating. You didn't make reservations. You could have called too. I don't think you even work. What were you doing all day? She was raising his kid, and that's a full-time job. It's the hardest job in the world. Shut the fuck up. Not that D'Angelo works particularly hard. There's just a lot of risk involved with what he does. He basically stands around and watches other people do shit. Would be really boring. But if you try to do a crossword puzzle or something to occupy your time, then you're not paying attention. They can catch you slipping. I don't know if I could handle that gig, just standing around watching people. Unless are there ever any days off? Don't they run that like 7 days a week? When do you ever spend the money? What do you do with it? Nobody's willing to lend a helping hand. They're just doing their portion. I'd feel too uptight in this restaurant. Like, I want to be able to put my elbows up on the table and pick up a piece of chicken with my hand if I feel like it. I want to feel pressure to be all proper. Just want to be me, if I can chill.
Do they know what?
Dude, they think you're a basketball player or a rapper. They're wondering what you do to earn enough money to afford this place, but they don't think you're a drug dealer.
You're all dressed up, right? Come all the way across town. Fancy place like this. After we finish, we're gonna go down to the hall. We'll walk around.
He's just projecting all this. Like, nobody's even looking at him sideways. It's just how he feels.
Do you meet only black people in here?
It ain't about that. That ain't what I'm talking about. It's about where we... You know. I'm just saying, I feel like some shit just stays...
She's gonna correct him here, but it doesn't seem to resonate. She tells him it's America. If you got money, you can be anything you say you are. And that was basically right then, at least. Now that there's internet and shit, people know who you are unless you do a real good job of hiding.
Nobody give a damn about you.
You go on a podcast or something, people get a glimpse into who you are real quick.
That's the way it is.
See, here's an example of D'Angelo not really understanding the deal.
These are the samples.
See, dude, that's you fucking up again.
For you, sir? Very good.
Why'd you come here if you were gonna feel uncomfortable like you don't belong? Why don't you go to Red Robin? Get a bottomless burger basket.
Make it wrong. Be a man. Yeah, I gotta confess.
Kind of
This beat chink ass Bob.
sandwich looks good as a motherfucker.
You might be all that when it comes to dumping on niggas, but you can't do shit with that stick, man. Oh, you do that. Does he play?
Probably does.
Might. Even better with two hands.
When I checked it out, man, I think I'm true on this.
I think he's gonna try to hustle him, sandbag him for a game or two, and then run him.
Emerson Gully is wide open. What about TT Crew? Nah, them niggas dried up when they took that federal.
Capitalism, constant expansion and growth.
I tell you what. You holler at the boy Cigar. Let him know, man, it's time for him to take a stroll. If he give you any beef at all, we gonna put Weebay and Bird on it. And then once we got him out of there, send in the smoke.
We haven't met Bird yet. Bird is like a hired hitman muscle, like along the lines of Weebay, but not as close to Avon. Weebay is like as high as you can get for being muscle. He's like the main muscle. See, Avon's always locked away. He's up in this office in the strip club, locked away at his girlfriends, no phone lines, no windows, no blinds, locked doors. I didn't mean no blinds, no open blinds.
You guys rooting for juvenile intake?
Like, he's got to be like a hermit.
If I had more time, I'd run you. Give you a tip, Preston. You wanna run a hustle? Best stay with what you know. Man, fuck you and your tight ass advice, alright?
He's not taking their shit.
But that sandwich was good.
He doesn't give a fuck about being arrested. See, if somebody really doesn't care, then all this kind of feigned authority doesn't matter. You're either gonna do something or you're not, but it's not gonna keep him from speaking his mind.
Take the Gully. What about Scar?
Who?
Listen, I'm giving you points on the package.
Real?
Make a go of it. You hear me? You're working for yourself too, so you're gonna put out the strong
Points on the package means he's making a percentage now.
behind it. It's as simple as that. Get your team.
So instead of just getting paid a salary,
So go away from
the more his crew moves, the more he makes.
this money around in the future.
The less his crew moves, the less he makes.
Something, nigga. Night. Yeah, he deserved it, though. He deserved it.
So he found the opportunity for them to expand in a neighborhood that wasn't really backed by any major players. So it's just like a little local crew. Stinkum's gonna go in there, tell them to bounce, or else if they don't bounce, Weebay and Bird are gonna hit them up and remove them against their will. And then Stinkum is gonna crew up, staff the new corner, start moving Avon stuff through there, and he's gonna make a percentage on the sales. I think they're getting ready to do a money run. Yeah. He's gonna pull like fucking like $100,000 out of this goddamn safe. Drop it in this black garbage bag, then they sneak him out the back. Hermit crab hopping from one shell to another, hiding. But those are the type of, like, he probably, the main plug, the main connect for getting his product, he probably has to deal with still person to person because there's a trust involved. That guy's just not going to let you send somebody else on your behalf that he doesn't trust to drop off the money. Is that an actual recording camera? The cops didn't get a warrant for that footage? Or subpoena, whatever it is. Yo, lock that door? I say that because that's something that Stringer says repeatedly throughout the series. Every time somebody's leaving, he goes, yo, lock that door? It's kind of like one of those things, like the way that Bunk says, you happy now, bitch, to Jimmy. It's a catchphrase, but they don't go overboard with it. Subtle. Feels organic. It fits every time.
Casings from all 3 killings go to a 45, probably cult classic.
So Landsman's hunch that the suspect with the nickname D was related to their murder was actually right. They traced back that shell from the apartment murder, and it was the same gun that was used to kill Gant and somebody else. So Bubbles' buddy, Johnny, is finally up and walking around, but he's still at the fucking hospice center. Bubbles is coming to visit him. Brought him some chicken pieces and some fries. It's really chicken McNuggets. He bought that shit and then rode the bus there. That's probably so nasty by now. And he got him a milkshake, but he dropped it on the bus. That would have been melted and nasty. Johnny's wearing a fucking colostomy bag. I think that's what it's called.
Fucked up, man.
Maybe you shouldn't have been a junkie.
Yeah, so. There was nothing I could do, you know?
It's like first I
Like, that was the event that broke the camel's back, but you were heading towards rock bottom, regardless. You still are. He has AIDS. He's going to tell Bubbles right now. And Bubbles' reaction is, like, very reminiscent of most people's reaction when they find out something. Look how he pushes this away. Like, nah, man. He kind of rejected denial. And, of course, him and Bubbles have been sharing dirty needles for who knows how long.
Where you been?
And Johnny, he's just got a junkie's brain. He can't turn it off.
What?
He's gonna hate on Bubbles for working with the police, and then he's just gonna start asking him about who's got the best package, where's the best place to get a hit and get high. He's already thinking about chasing that high, even though he's probably stone cold sober. He's been in here for who knows how long, weeks. He would have kicked it by now, probably. He's probably gone through all his withdrawals and everything, but he can't wait to get back in it.
It's all part of the game, right? I mean, you taught me that.
I guess, man, if it's your choice, you gotta respect that. Charge it to the game and move on. That is a pragmatic attitude. It's just, the game could be a better game. I tell that to people sometimes in the newspaper. I put a dent in my car, or I go through this much gas. Charge it to the game. You want to play the game? That's part of the game. So,
Guess so. I'll be getting out of here at the end of the month.
It's alright, man. They got meetings everywhere. We gotta worry about that.
he's not interested in being sober, so I guess there's no hope right now. He's actually got to want it.
It's got the best package.
Your sister.
Coming home, right?
Shit is weak all over, you know? There's some boys up in Baker and Calhoun,
This is why they're friends, though. They relate on this. So Bubbles like, you sure? And then he just hops right into it. All right, let's go at it. It's almost like Bubbles was itching to talk about it. No, Viking Holmes?
Viking Holmes?
You're neither a Viking nor Mexican, so the Holmes part. You piece of shit, frankly. I mean, I know you kind of feel bad for him, but
There's something here that needs kissing.
he's a thief and a drug addict and
Speak again, oh toothless one.
all that.
You know now why I wear the stripes in the family? A good call.
He's not even honest with his drug purchases. He tries to steal from the drug dealers
Keely be Keely. We all can't be princes of the
or run
city.
scams on them.
Speaking of which,
Pay half price.
sit down.
Oh,
Ask you a question that is essential.
so
What? Who do you serve?
Jimmy and them just got up on the wire and got the pagers active. And now Landsman's going to tell him that the only way he's welcome back in homicide, the only way Rawls will allow him to do that, is if he closes down
Because Jimmy,
this case. And they just broke open another barrier.
you wrap up this thing with narcotics in 2 weeks.
They're giving him 2 weeks. They already have a 30-day wiretap.
You do that, and you're back in the
Conflicting schedules. Not going to work.
no problem.
Jay thinks he's done him a favor, but he's really just put him between a rock and a hard place.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm gonna say something to him, right?
You should.
Shoot.
See, they all didn't get paid. They're hurting. They some broke-ass motherfuckers. Look at that Airwalk beanie.
Counts right now.
I think my buddy has that. Or had it back in the day.
So Sterling be ready for me.
Alright, you'll do, man. You know, me and Pooh, we be steady working, and you know, I'm not sloppy.
Oh, excuse me.
And we was wondering if
Onward and forward.
we go to payday, because you know, right now, we some broke ass niggas, man.
We haven't gotten to see Wallace's home life yet. But knowing it and thinking about the fact that he's hurting for money that way and what he's responsible for at home makes you feel really bad. He needs that money.
Look at a month earlier, Leggett, and those two are definitely straight up drug executions. Don't mention a D&I the 5, but they get a fresh number.
So Leggett and Gant were killed by the same person as that Deandra Crescent.
She put D in for that.
Have you seen this?
Hey, Jay Bird. And the bear said, you didn't really come here to hunt now, did you?
Coffee fund? He's stealing money out of the coffee fund
Sunday morning.
to go buy shit out of the vending machine.
John Bailey in a Kevlar vest, lit up by 3 separate shooters. Carey Street, yeah. Yes, you made the connection with Crescent. You knew Bailey my time with the Barstow crew.
Bailey is the straight guy in Omar's crew, the one that kind of got uncomfortable feeling when Omar asked him to stick around.
Took you so long.
Not the light-skinned one, but the other one. So,
Sometimes we just get backed up.
You weren't following.
1/3 of Omar's crew is dead.
Deja was playing with scary people.
Who might that be?
This is a friend of the girl that was murdered in the apartment. The story that Dee told, it wasn't actually him. That was Weebay.
Yeah, she called. It was late. She didn't
Actually, I think it was Bird.
said she had to go.
Because I think Bird did Gant
Last time you spoke with him.
and Leggett,
Yeah.
and it was the same gun.
D was her boyfriend?
No, Dee was his nephew or something.
This girl's got a lot of balls because she's willing to talk to the cops, and she has an understanding of exactly what she's dealing with Avon and them.
You know it. You out there running the street with the players.
I used to be.
Oh, she used to be in the game.
But not after this thing with Deidre. I mean, damn. We used to go to Odell's for ladies' night. And one time he was there with all his people in one of those big booths ordering drinks, acting like he was king of everything.
She's cute, though.
And Deidre ate
Probably
that
got a
shit.
booty on her, too.
And you?
I ain't gonna lie. I did the club thing for a while, but some of those places, everybody in there is on some kind of game.
But Deidre wanted
Almost everybody in the world's on some kind of game.
Yeah.
That's what sucks about it.
It happened. Toward the end, she started to get real possessive, and that didn't sit with her.
Especially in a strip club.
Anyway, she started bitching on him 1 minute, crying to him next.
That's why so many dudes think strippers
she threatened
like them.
Barstow.
It's because they're playing you.
One time,
It's in their best interest for you to think that they like you, so you'll spend money there.
Led her to the States attorney.
You're buying their love. It's not even love. You don't get much out of it.
He dumped her. She was gonna tell about the drugs.
Oh.
I don't know.
So the dead girl, Deandra Crescent, threatened Avon Barksdale and told him that if he broke up with her, she was going to tell him about the or tell the cops about the drugs.
Titty bod.
Why she knew about the
That's
drugs,
what Deidre said.
I don't know.
She said he owned a whole mess of stuff.
They now know that Avon is a secret owner of Orlando's. This has been his little secret hideout, his kind of GTA safe house, if you will. And now the cops are wise to it. And
How can you run this place and not just OD on pussy?
I've mentioned this in a previous podcast, but you ever work with somebody and like when you first meet them and you're like, God damn, they're sexy. And you think that for a few weeks, but then down the line, maybe like 3 months, you get to know them and their person, maybe they're always late, maybe they're always bitching, something about them, and it just totally erases any beauty they have because their being is unattractive to you now. That's kind of what Orlando's saying. He's like, I have to deal with these girls catty shit and problems and fighting with each other and fighting with customers. He's like, at the end of the day, I don't even look at them as sex symbols. It's just a bunch of problems.
First thing I'm gonna be coming off the clock, right? Getting a percentage. I'll open up fresh territory.
Orlando's got delusions of grandeur. He wants to be a player like Avon. He doesn't know his role. When he decided to be the front for this place, he painted himself into a corner he can't get out of. You have to stay the front for this place. See, now this dude's running game on her. 20 and 20 more. That's 40. Jesus Christ, $120 in drinks? How desperate are you to have a girl sitting next to you? $120. Why don't you just buy her panties and be on your way? She's a people pleaser. She doesn't like confrontation. I can recognize that because she didn't steal the money from him. But she gave him the money back just to resolve the issue and have everybody's feelings not be hurt. But now that dude's leaving knowing he got over on her, and that's fucked up. She got a pack of new potes.
You buy me a drink? Can I see you sometime?
Not here.
I don't usually see men that I meet in here.
He pay you, don't he?
Usually,
I don't know. Is D'Angelo good looking? Seems to look kind of like a turtle to me. She's pretty. Not McNulty. The girl that D'Angelo's just hitting on. Now Daniels, Kima, McNulty are scoping out Orlando's. They keep putting the pieces together. Deputy likes dots. These are all assets that they're going to seize. That's what they're talking about.
Homicide picked up on Saturday night might be one of ours.
You get major injections into the budget that way.
He's found wearing Kevlar, but it didn't help. 39 casings on the scene from 3 different guns.
overkill for
Jesus. John Bailey was shot 39 times by 3 different shooters. Sending a message. Because he stole their stash. 176-395-1192-12.
The right number.
They still haven't cracked the code, so they can see the pages, but they can't make any sense of it. It's basically useless.
Dude, you're fucking dope fiend. I'm telling you. You fucking people ain't to be relied on.
You always gotta talk like that, man. F this and F that.
So these guys are boyfriend and boyfriend, and
What I mean to say.
they're mounting up with all their guns and essentially hiding out at Omar's place like drug fiends. Blinds closed, curtains closed, whatever the case may be. It looked like he was loading a bunch of boxes up into a duffel bag. I don't really know what the contents therein are.
Early bird catch the worm, dog.
Believe that. Early bird, it seems late. I guess they didn't roll up on Omar when I thought they did. They were just scoping out his van. Shit, Bubbles no bird.
I beeped you.
I didn't get it.
Let me see.
Oh, Presbolewski figured out the code. He finally has some value. So good I could kiss you.
You alright, Prince? 7143432.
I got that. That was you?
You try it?
Yeah, it's a non-working number.
Non-working number.
It would have worked if you knew the code. I'm as surprised as you.
So he was able to figure out that it has nothing to do with math or an equation or anything like that, but it has to do with how a phone actually looks. So it becomes easy to teach somebody how to implement it.
The number I sent you. Now,
To a stranger, it's confusing, but you can say, okay, you just do this. You just jump over the center,
you get 9.
and somebody can learn that very quickly.
You get 6. 3.
It's scalable.
4 is 6. A 3 again. And 2 is 8. 0 switches with a 5.
Dial down the center, 1-800-CALLATT.
432 is 396 7678. Our number.
I feel like the easiest way would be, you know that their pages are going to be area code first, right?
About where the buttons are on the phone.
So wouldn't you take the 3 that they're always using for the area code
Or whatever.
and then
Projects will be able to follow along.
figure out what the corresponding number that's the true area code is, and then work the relationship backward from there?
It's just how a phone looks when you look at it.
Press, you little
Genius.
He would have never figured this out about himself and had this potential exposed if he hadn't been stuck on in office duty. He's not allowed to be in the field.
Yeah, well, you know, she ain't never gonna let that go.
I keep telling them, man, hey, we can't show this legit money yet, man. Especially since he ain't got no insurance. Soon.
This is Avon,
So you ain't big on
D'Angelo, and Stinkum going to visit a family member. I'm not sure if it's Avon's older brother or Avon's dad.
You understand me? This family.
Oh, okay. So it's Avon's older brother.
Family is what it's
It's another uncle.
Family gonna always be there because it's blood.
And you're basically going to see what the game did to him, where he is now. He used to be an Avon type character, and now he's in this bed in like this local hospital for people without insurance.
You never figured on this, did you?
And they expose you to how deep the mind can get of a drug dealer. It's not all just surface shit. This is the kind of stuff they have to think about.
No big thing. We used to talk that shit all the time and he believed it. You know what I'm saying? What's up, baby? Talk that shit now.
And to D'Angelo, this is like just more evidence to him that this shit ain't worth it.
He scared you, don't he?
All this risk, living the life, looking over your shoulder, feeling like you don't belong, feeling like you got this scarlet letter on, and you could end up like this motherfucker laid up in bed.
See, if
he did, you know, I could carry it better. Coming up to what we did, you know, you kind of expect that. Waiting on it.
This is such a good speech by Avon.
The thing is, you only got to fuck up once. Be a little slow, be a little late.
So fucking good.
And how you ain't gonna never be slow? Never be late. You can't plan for no shit like this.
Being a drug kingpin ain't all just smoking blunts and listening to rap music. You gotta be on point all the time.
Scares me.
He gets shot in the head. It looked like a scar from a bullet wound in the head. They don't really say what's wrong with him. Is he a vegetable? No, he didn't have breathing shit.
Your own time?
You still getting your boys?
Yeah. Tonight for a sleepover.
Oh, this is where... Oh, excuse me. They've been sitting on Omar's van for so long. He finally decides he should come out and make the proper introduction.
Call for backup?
Not yet.
Omar's of
Let's see how it plays out.
the school where you show up early to get the jump on anybody trying to get the jump on you. So you're already set up on them before they get a chance to set up on you. That's kind of where the early bird gets the worm thing. A lot of chess moves type shit going on.
Me too.
That shitty wood grain inside that Forerunner.
I'll check you in.
So Omar drove him out to the cemetery, gets out with his hands up, like, "Good evening, officer."
Afternoon, gentlemen. Saying if he's gonna use that, could have been done using it by now.
Clean.
Gotta keep it clean.
Saying we had one of those parlays.
He calls it a parlay.
Omar with no gun.
Like they're members of opposing gangs.
Sometimes you are enough, dog. But being that y'all sitting on my ride so long, that's what I saved y'all for time. Come straight on out. I ain't taking no charge, and you only put me back up in no cage.
Back.
I'm gonna bury you, Omar.
You been in the cage
We're pulling you
before?
out 'cause we got a problem in common.
Problem?
Barksdale.
Nah, he ain't no problem.
I know. Avon's been chopping up a lot of bodies. Including you.
Basically, me.
Omar doesn't know that John Bailey's dead yet.
Can't really come out and help out. You know what I mean? Snitching?
He's about to, though.
It's relatively wrong. Personally, I don't think the game's played like that.
And we respect
Yet you
that.
do it later.
If you do happen to take a charge, though, I'm McNulty, that's Greg's. He gives a call, sort something out.
That might be the only hole in his code that I can recall pointing out. He says the game's not played like that. He doesn't believe in snitching.
You get a chance.
But
Even though they blew up John Bailey last night.
later, he testifies in court against Bird.
Saying, you trying to catch up with Bird?
I feel a burp coming on. Maybe not.
Hey, wait. Hold up. Come on, don't play me. We're working, man. We're Bird.
Come on now, ain't one more working man I is there. Bird? I think your Smith can handle that. Shit, Bubbles no Bird.
Omar knows everything. He even knows that Bubbles is their snitch. And by working man, he means the witness, Gant. So Omar is saying, Bird killed Gant. Get Bubbles to tell you where Bird is. I'm not exactly sure where McNulty is right now. Is he at the house to pick up his kids?
Sure. This is better said standing up.
This is yet another great speech. Freeman's essentially telling Daniels that he doesn't want to be involved in this case unless they're going to do it right. So either let's do this right or let me go, because I can't stand to do a half-assed job. He puts it so eloquently, I don't want to dance unless I know I'm going to feel some tit. Yup. It's like, this isn't a plutonic date. Something's coming out of this. Yep, so that was his ex-wife's house, because he's now sitting in his kids' room on their beds that he managed to put together from IKEA. He got blue sheets. See? Like, he's a what did she think he was gonna fucking get? My Little Pony?
I told him to give it up when I'm taking out of the account. I'll pump nigga when I got you.
We're getting into the culminating scene of this episode. They're gonna recognize Omar's boyfriend in this restaurant. Oh, excuse me. And they're gonna drop a dime to D'Angelo, who in turn drops a dime to Stringer. Everything coalesces, and this boy ends up getting got. If you're ever wondering where the term drop a dime comes from, it's literally from dropping a dime into a payphone, calling somebody, you drop a dime. At least I think. That was, I've never verified that, but if I had to guess, that's where it comes from. And so now they've broken the code, and they have these pen registers. So they can at least start to see who's contacting who. They haven't identified whose numbers they are. I think they know D'Angelo's. And I think they can tell based off the payphone numbers where they're located. This is how complex their network is, the drug dealers. One person pages another, they page them back, they call, they get the info, then they page somebody else, they wait for a call back. There's a lot of steps that have to be taken. This is a decision right now that D'Angelo and Wallace both kind of regret after the fact. Wallace extremely so. This is the beginning of Wallace going downhill. Mentally, he can't cope with the fact that he put them onto this kid like this. Technically, Poot spotted him. Poot just kind of gets left out of the whole ordeal. He doesn't get any money. He doesn't seem stressed out by it. My man D got himself an emergency. He can stick up again.
My people are the one of Omar's boys down in Greece. Ain't nobody coming. Yo, D said wait. D said wait.
Sorry, I had to take another piss. Damn coffee goes right through me. Plus, I think I drank like 4 cups in a row. I had to finish my eBay shit. I recorded a movie commentary right before this. I'm ready to hit the hay.
Yo, he's still in there?
This is like a big moment for Wallace and Poot. They're talking to the higher ups.
Wallace? This nigga gonna point him out to us, right?
They go in with hot handcuffs and pretend to be cops and drag him out of there so that they can take him and torture him. Some cold shit. Like, they don't play. They're saying, you do not steal from us.
Yeah.
or you will regret it. We ain't just gonna kill you fast. We're gonna take our time with you. What I'm actually shocked about is that the dude doesn't spill the beans, that he doesn't cop to where Omar is through all that. He doesn't seem like that strong of a character. But that's like some real hardcore gangster shit, to not talk during that. And that's the end of the episode. We see the all the various pages going through. Fuck, it's gonna start the next episode. Sorry, I had to run over and grab the controller before it's Prime. They don't fuck around when it comes to starting their next episode. It takes like 3 seconds before it autoplays. So, that was the commentary for episode 5, season 1 of The Wire. Appreciate you guys listening in or watching on YouTube. Please tell a buddy, like, comment, share, subscribe, all of that good shit. And until the next time, this is Devin signing off and saying, be easy.